Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Now, I know I haven't posted in a while, just been busy with some things. And I know I also haven't been posting regularly like many of you had come to expect of me and come to enjoy as well. But I am going to try and work on doing that again and start posting regularly, or at least every few days. I did want to do this video because not just a few days ago, at the time of recording this, which is February 3rd, 2026, the long anticipated Epstein Files have finally been released, and you can access them on the US government website, the DOJ website. I'll post a link below and you can look for yourself. I kind of spent a little bit of time reading some of the documents. There were supposed to be like 6 million released, but they ended up only releasing 3.5 million because they had to heavily redact a lot of the information, and some of the information is like the victims, like the name and etc., and maybe family members. I'm not sure. I totally understand that has to be protected. But they didn't just redact that. They redacted quite a bit of vital information, like certain emails that you can't even see who is sending. Like you can see Epstein's response and all that stuff, but they blocked out who the email is communicating with Epstein. Like one was talking about that he enjoyed a torture or something like that, the video of the torture video. And you can't see who's saying that. You can't see the email either. So that basically begs the question, who is that person? The public has the right to know who else is involved. The Republic has the right to know all who is involved in these crimes. Now, we know why they've redacted a lot of those, because they're high-ranking officials, past and present government officials, big wigs, like billionaire moguls. Bill Gates is all over there, all kinds of names. Elon Musk is on there, even though he said that he had nothing to do with it. There's so many people who are implicated in it. Now, many of the other pundits that I've listened to were saying that it doesn't prove much until you go to court and whatever, it doesn't incriminate. To me, they're all scumbags. Okay, because if you were communicating with that guy, and you must have known something about the guy was off, okay? You don't become friends with a creep like that and not being implicated in some way. And if you knew and you just didn't want to be a part of it, and you ignored all of the victims, cries for help and whatnot, you were just as guilty. You're implicated like the rest of them. You should be held account, because you did nothing, you said nothing. Now, I have always known that this world, realm, whatever you want to call it, in human existence, there has been mass levels of evil, high levels of evil, and just you couldn't really see it for what it was, especially as a younger, if you're a kid or a teenager, you don't really know. There's that sense of innocence, because kids just simply don't know that there is, some do of course, but for the most part, the innocence of a child doesn't see the evil that really dominates this world, high and low. There's really, really evil acts that go on in this world, war crimes and things that this Epstein creep did, and many of his associates and people that he had in his circle, like his Ghislaine Maxwell, who also, her father was a high-ranking official. I think he was a Mossad agent or something, or a double agent. So it doesn't really surprise me when you make all the connections. It really does make sense. But what I was getting at is, you don't really see how sick of a place we are in until you read some of these documents. Sure, you can see it on the news. You can see, I mean, I've seen really acts of crime and evil towards people all over the place. It's obvious. I'm just saying, when you read some of the things that were going on behind the scenes and still do go on. I mean, you think that Epstein is just is the only one? This thing is only the tip of the iceberg. This is a mass organization of some sort. This is going on beyond our comprehension. We couldn't comprehend how much of this shit is actually going on, how much child exploitation and graping that is going on in this world. I mean, there's so much. I've talked about this in another video about the evil that goes on and just how humans have no bounds for the things to do. But one particular email I was reading, which is stated that George W. Bush Sr. was there, former president of the United States from back in the late 80s, early 90s. And it's just really sickening, but they were graping their victims, and then they would have babies and they would sacrifice these babies. I mean, there's just all kinds of sick shit. I don't even want to get into the full details. If you want to look it up, I might post an image on the screen and you can see for yourself what was said. But there's so many files, and I mean, this isn't even all the files. They haven't even released all of the ones they're supposed to. There's so much missing. It's ridiculous. So, to me, it's only the tip of the iceberg. There's going to be more, and whether heads will roll, I don't know. I don't think there'll be justice for these people. They're always going to be a fall guy who will take the rap for all of it. I mean, I think that Epstein obviously did not kill himself. He was taken out before he could spill the beans and make a deal. But obviously no deal was given because somebody had him ordered to be killed. There was no suicide. The other thing that's very interesting about this is the fact that this organization that was run by Epstein, or maybe he was just one of the cogs in the whole wheel, but it goes back many, many years. In fact, why is this only coming out now? Because it's been investigated, but if you look at previous administrations, they never really went after him. They never really shed any light on the files or the situation. They probably had a lot of information over the last 15, 20 years, maybe even more. A lot of people seem to think that Epstein was a Mossad agent as well, or somebody on the inside, connected to Israel somehow. But a lot of the stories that I was reading, like a lot of the files that I was reading, some of the emails, is just absolutely disturbing. But as I was saying about previous administrations, they probably covered a lot of this up. They didn't want to investigate because those at the top are also part of it. And people don't understand that. A lot of these people in power who are ultra wealthy think they can do whatever they want. And for the most part, a lot of them got away with it. Most of them got away with it. There's going to be countless more names appearing. Another one was Elon Musk, who said, I remember months back when him and Trump had the falling out, Trump's just worried about the Epstein Files. But guess what? He was on it too. And Trump's name shows up over 4,000 times. Like, these people are just absolutely horrible. And that's why Trump was saying it's a hoax. Remember how he campaigned on releasing the Epstein Files, and then all of a sudden he didn't want to have any part of it and started distancing himself from it. And then there was pushback from other politicians, and that the public also wanted it to be released, especially his supporters. But the one that's really amazing is how the cover up goes back so many administrations. Like the Clintons are totally in on that shit as well. They've been called to do a deposition, I believe, or been called to speak to one of the groups in the political spectrum, the political sphere. So they'll have to speak for themselves as to why their names are all over the Epstein files, why he was on the plane, he was at the island. He's a creep too. I mean, look what he did with that woman who worked for him, Monica Lewinsky. It's just it never ceases to amaze me how many creeps and sickos and pervs and pedos there are. And this shit's gonna blow wide open. I mean, I don't know how much, if they're gonna. I mean, they could probably get away with hiding a lot. I mean, they're trying to protect Trump and a lot of other high-ranking officials. But it's crazy. Like, if you think that evil doesn't exist, just go read some of those files. If you haven't seen evil for what it is, your eyes are gonna be blown wide open. Now, people are gonna say, well, it's hearsay and no. These are actual FBI agents over the number of years investigating this, with eyewitness accounts. The witnesses of, like, the victims gave their quotes and gave their statements to these officers. I couldn't imagine having to look through those files, especially like the hard drives that were ascertained at Epstein's home, on his computers, on his cameras, because he filmed a lot of that shit that was going on. I mean, he had that house in New York City where he had a secret, like, basement where he filmed all his kinky ass nasty shit, perverted pedophilia shit. And people had to watch through those and see. I mean, they've already released some of the videos, but they've redacted the girls in it, and it's really quite disturbing. I mean, you look at I think it's Prince Andrew was the one that basically was caught on a lot of the videos and photos. Another pedo who's gonna get what's coming to him. I hope. People need to stand up for this shit and demand justice. Knowing this place, this world, justice doesn't come that easily, if at all. The good people that still exist have to demand it, have to go after it, hold people to account. Otherwise, this is just going to keep going on and on. And like I said many times before, this is just the beginning. There's a lot more to be discovered, sadly. There's a lot more disgusting shit that goes on in this place. And a lot of people just can't comprehend that there's some real evil shit. I was watching this, I forget her name, Anna on TYT. I don't really watch a lot of these, but I did want to see what people were saying about these Epstein files. Even she said, put these people out and hang them and let people watch. I couldn't have said any better myself. There needs to be these people held account for these sick crimes that they're doing to innocent people, young children, teenagers. Anyway, let's see what other files are going to come out in the coming weeks. I'm sure it's going to be a bunch of other nasty shit. One other one that I was seeing is, like, Bill Gates was telling Epstein that he might have caught an STD from one of the girls and was seeing if he had any, like, something to do with, like, medicine or treatment or something. It's really fucked up. These are the people who are running most of the world. These kind of sick bastards. Something else I wanted to mention before ending this video. The fact that it took them so long to release these goes to show that they did a lot of work in preventing us from seeing everything in those files, because there's probably millions more documents that we're not going to see. And what we've been shown so far, and what may come out later, I think they still have to release some more, is only what they want us to see. Because they they are being controlled as well. You have to understand that. So they've spent so long redacting key names, key information. Probably the bigger figures in the whole scheme of things are being protected. All the names that were released, a lot of them we already knew, a lot of them we suspected, and then some we just were kind of were new, right? There were new names that were released, connecting with other people, and some people lied and said they didn't know anything about it. They never wanted to see the guy. I think he's in Trump's cabinet, Lutnick or whatever his name. He was like on record saying that he never reached out to go to meet with Epstein, though there's emails showing that he was seeing if he could pass by and come to the island and things like that. So a lot of liars there, a lot of people trying to cover their ass. But again, they are only showing us what they want us to see, okay? Because another motive for that would be the fact that the other names that have not been released yet, they can still control and manipulate those people, right? Because it's kind of like saying, oh, be careful what you do, because we could release your names as well and screw you over, if you understand what I'm saying, if you follow me. So we still haven't seen everything that there is to see and know regarding the Epstein situation, regarding the whole ring of pedos, sickos. But and who knows if we ever will see it. I mean, even with pressure, as you saw, people were not relenting because they kept delaying the release, but people kept persisting. So they had to release something, right? It's kind of like releasing a pressure valve. You have to give way some, otherwise you're going to keep getting more and more pressure mounted on you. So I think that's one of the reasons why they inevitably released whatever it is that they released. Again, we are only being shown what they want us to see. Not that it's not a good thing. It's good that we have access to some. It's terrible what's being shown in them, because the reality of this world is, that's just a slight glimpse of what this world is like behind the scenes of those who control this place. So let me know what your thoughts are on the Epstein Files. What other people do you think possibly are implicated in this? I think there's a lot more, and there's going to be names that you would have never expected, with a lot more disgusting things that they've done. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the release of the Epstein Files. Yeah, thanks for taking the time to listen, and we'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye for now.